For most of modern business history, building a $1 million company meant assembling a team. You needed engineers to build the product, marketers to attract customers, analysts to interpret data, and managers to coordinate everything. Even small startups required layers of people, time, and capital. The barrier to entry was not just ideas, it was infrastructure. But something unusual has happened in the last few years. The cost of doing complex work has collapsed. Tasks that once required entire departments can now be handled by software that fits inside a browser tab. Research that used to take weeks can happen in minutes. Writing code that once required months of engineering can now happen in days. Even customer support, data analysis, and marketing campaigns can be handled with intelligent systems. This shift is not just about automation, it's about leverage. One person today can operate with the capabilities that previously required dozens of employees. That means individuals are no longer limited by the size of their team. They are limited by the systems they build. And that changes the equation of entrepreneurship. Instead of assembling large organizations, the most effective founders are learning how to design AI-assisted business systems that run continuously in the background. These systems research markets, generate content, support customers, and improve products, while the founder focuses on decisions and strategy. In other words, the structure of a company is changing. The next generation of businesses will not always look like companies. Some will look like individuals with powerful systems behind them. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a practical framework for building a one-person AI company capable of reaching 7 figures, not a theory, a blueprint based on how modern tools actually work. It starts with understanding why this moment exists. The new economics of building a business. The most important shift happening today is not simply that AI is powerful. The real shift is economic. For decades, businesses spent enormous amounts of money on specialized work. Market research, data analysis, marketing copy, design, software development. Every task required skilled professionals. That meant hiring teams or outsourcing projects, both of which required significant budgets. AI has dramatically changed that equation. The cost of performing many intellectual tasks has dropped by orders of magnitude. What once required thousands of dollars can now be done for a fraction of the price. What once required days of work can often be completed in minutes. But the real advantage is not just cost savings, it is speed. A single founder today can research a niche, analyze competitors, test product ideas, generate marketing material, and launch a prototype in a matter of days. Meanwhile, larger companies still move slowly due to internal processes, approvals, and coordination. That speed advantage is powerful. In the past, large companies dominated because they had resources. Today, small operators can dominate because they move faster. Think of it this way. If building something becomes easier, the real advantage shifts to the people who experiment more quickly. The founders who test ideas faster will learn faster, and the ones who learn faster eventually build better businesses. This means the most successful one-person companies are not necessarily the smartest. They are simply the ones that iterate the fastest. But speed alone doesn't guarantee success. To build something valuable, you still need the right starting point. The leverage triangle. When most people try to start a business, they begin by chasing ideas. They look for trending industries, hot technologies, or popular opportunities. But strong businesses rarely begin that way. Instead, they begin where the founder already has leverage. A helpful way to think about this is what I call the leverage triangle. Every successful solo founder typically benefits from at least 2 of 3 advantages: knowledge, skill, and access. The first advantage is knowledge. This means understanding a problem space better than outsiders. Maybe you worked in a particular industry for years. Maybe you've spent time inside a niche community. Maybe you've experienced a specific frustration firsthand. That knowledge gives you intuition about what people actually need. The second advantage is skill. Everyone has certain abilities that come naturally. Some people are excellent writers, others are technical builders, some are exceptional researchers or communicators. The type of business you build should match your strongest skill, because that is where you can outperform competitors with less effort. The third advantage is access. Even the best products fail if nobody sees them. Access means having a faster way to reach customers than your competitors do. That could be an audience, professional network, community membership, or distribution channel. The key insight is simple. You don't need all three advantages. If you have knowledge and skill, you can build solutions faster than others. If you have skill and access, you can deliver value to an audience quickly. If you have knowledge and access, you can identify problems and reach people who experience them. But when all three align, growth becomes dramatically easier. Once you have identified a problem space where you have leverage, the next challenge is execution, and this is where AI becomes transformative. The AI operating system. A traditional company is made up of departments. Marketing handles promotion. Operations handle logistics. Product teams build solutions. Finance manages numbers. But a one-person company cannot function this way. Instead, it operates more like a system, a collection of processes that work together continuously. You can think of this as your AI operating system. This system usually has four core components. The first is customer discovery. Every business begins with understanding what people actually need. AI tools can analyze reviews, summarize feedback, identify common complaints, and highlight patterns that reveal opportunities. The founder's role is not to manually gather all that information. The role is to interpret it and decide where opportunity exists. The second component is product creation. Once a problem is identified, you build a solution. That might be a digital product, a micro software tool, a service enhanced by automation, or an information product that helps people accomplish a goal. Modern tools allow founders to build prototypes quickly, test them with real users, and improve them based on feedback. The third component is operations. Every business has repetitive tasks, responding to questions, organizing documents, tracking performance, and handling routine communication. AI systems can manage many of these processes, allowing the founder to focus on decisions instead of administration. The fourth component is growth. Businesses expand when more people learn about them. AI tools can assist with content generation, audience research, campaign analysis, and outreach strategies. Together, these components form a system that runs continuously. The founder becomes less of a worker and more of a system designer. Instead of doing every task manually, the founder builds workflows that perform those tasks automatically, and that dramatically increases capacity. If this breakdown is helpful so far, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I share strategies like this every week about AI, entrepreneurship, and the future of work, and it really helps the channel reach more people who want to build smarter businesses. The real challenge, staying competitive. Once building businesses becomes easier, something else happens. Competition increases. More founders enter the market, more products appear, new tools reduce barriers to entry. That means long-term success depends on something deeper than just launching quickly. It depends on building advantages that competitors cannot easily copy. One of the most powerful advantages is speed. Large companies often move slowly because they must coordinate across multiple teams and approval layers. Independent founders can test ideas, release features, and adjust strategies much faster. Speed creates learning. Learning creates improvement. Improvement creates better products. Another advantage is habit. When a product becomes part of someone's daily routine, switching becomes inconvenient. Think about the tools people rely on every day for productivity, communication, or research. Even when alternatives exist, people rarely switch. It is they are already comfortable. Businesses that integrate into daily workflows become extremely durable. The third advantage is data. Every interaction with a product generates information about user behavior. Businesses that capture and analyze this information can improve their offerings continuously. Over time, this creates a feedback loop where the product becomes smarter and more useful. More usage produces more data. More data produces better improvements. Better improvements attract more users. That loop becomes increasingly difficult for competitors to replicate. But even with these advantages, one final factor determines whether someone actually builds a successful business. Mindset. The solo founder mindset. Most people assume entrepreneurship requires extraordinary confidence. In reality, it usually requires the opposite, the ability to move forward despite uncertainty. Every new technology wave creates moments where opportunities appear before most people recognize them. The internet did this, mobile apps did this, social media did this, artificial intelligence is doing it again. But during these early stages, many people hesitate. They assume they need more knowledge, more preparation, or more experience before starting. The truth is that almost everyone building in new fields is learning as they go. The founders who succeed are not the ones who wait until everything is clear. They are the ones who experiment early, gather feedback quickly, and improve continuously. The mindset shift is simple. You don't need to build a massive company immediately. You need to solve one meaningful problem for a specific group of people. If that solution delivers value, it can grow gradually. Systems can expand. Tools can improve. Processes can become more sophisticated over time. But none of that happens until the first step is taken. And in a world where individuals now have unprecedented leverage, that step has never been easier. The structure of business is changing. The combination of AI tools, digital distribution, and automated systems has created an environment where individuals can operate at a scale that once required entire organizations. A single founder can research markets, build products, support customers, analyze data, and reach audiences, all within the same integrated system. That does not mean every solo founder will succeed, but it does mean the opportunity has never been more accessible. The next generation of companies will not always be large organizations with hundreds of employees. Some will be individuals who understand how to design intelligent systems. And somewhere out there, someone is already building the first billion-dollar company run by a single person. The tools exist, the infrastructure exists. The only question left is who decides to start building first.